and welcome to the Book Chronicles. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Melanie.
And today we're doing like a weekend reads week wrap up. And I'd like to go over what I recently read and what my reading plans are for the weekend. I read a few graphic novels, and the first thing I wanted to show you that I've read is...
Because I read it too.
It's Bewitched. Belle read it as well.
A strong queen, two handsome princesses, a grandmother witch, and her granddaughter.
And she buddy read this with Melissa and Lico, and then they said it was so good. Then I read it after they did. I gave it about a 4-star, 4.5.
Well, I mean, I don't give star ratings, but if I did, it would be a 4.75 or so. It is the beginning of how Ursula became Ursula. She is a strong young lady, and she falls in love with a prince, but one of our friends also falls in love with the prince as well. And there was a tragedy that occurs, and I won't spoil anything, but due to this tragedy...
Just to sum it up, it's pretty much the story of Ursula before she became the Sea Witch.
Sea Witch, yes.
I expected there honestly to be a little more action. I mean, and there was toward the end.
At the end, but it's more romance.
I was not expecting as much romance as there was in it, and I was kind of let down a little bit by that.
I wasn't, but
I still enjoyed it. I still loved it. And Sea Witch by Susan or Sarah Henning.
I love anything that has to do with the Little Mermaid, so yeah.
And then I read, and this is in no particular order, but I read Anya's Ghost. And this is a graphic novel. Just look at these graphics, guys. I am in love with this graphic novel. I gave it a 5-star, but it's about a little Russian girl who falls down a well and befriends a ghost. And she's turns out to be this really sweet ghost. And it just goes from there. I don't want to spoil it for you, but trigger for if you,
not necessarily trigger, but just discretion advisory.
It does kind of glorify smoking a little bit because she smokes, and I didn't like that aspect of it, but it didn't keep me from enjoying it though. I really enjoyed it. Anya's Ghost.
Just a fun, cutesy kind of read.
And then I read for a second time, along with the audiobook, I started to say Bone Witch.
Oh, that took me pain.
I definitely don't want to even. This is oh my God. So
Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi.
Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and it follows several different characters: Zaylee, Anan, Amari, and it's a West African fantasy. In the audiobook, I suggest you read it because it has that West African accent.
Beautiful West African accent.
And it just gives it so much. It just puts you right there in that West African world. And I just loved it. It was everything I wanted. It was epic. I mean, everything I wanted in the book. So please pick it up. Promise you won't be disappointed. And so I'm still not done, but I'm literally...
This book, I woke up in the middle of the night and you were beside me crying.
Yes, it had me crying. And I'm just a few pages away from the first volume. I believe it's in 2 volumes, but it's Mouse. That's M-A-U-S. And again, this is, if you can probably tell by the swastika, it is a Holocaust graphic novel. Something you don't really see a lot of. This is compared to... If you like Persepolis, I don't know if that says that right.
I wouldn't. It's the Persepolis has to do with the Iranian
Revolution. This is actually a non-fiction. It's actually a true story of the author, Art Spiegelman. of him actually interviewing his father about, telling him about his time in Nazi Germany. And now, if you are sensitive to Holocaust, which, it is a very sensitive subject, a very lot of bad, evil, graphic things took place, but it's in graphic novel form, and in it, he actually represents the Nazis as cats and the Jews as mice, and I believe the SS officers are pigs. But I thought it's very epic, and I think this is something that even they should allow kids in school to read, because it's a great memoir of Mr. Spiegelman's father.
I would say 3rd or 4th grade, yeah, definitely would be a good graphic novel suggestion.
It's a perfect way to introduce them slowly
to history,
into the history of the Holocaust.
An important part of history that we should never forget. And
I'll be finishing this probably tomorrow, if not tonight. Because we will definitely be going to coffee shop tomorrow and read, which is our, as per usual, weekend activity. But that's Mouse, and I'll probably end up reading the 2nd volume. And I am also, so excited to be reading this. Catwoman.
Selena Kyle.
Yes, and I am buddy reading this with Liko and Melissa. We are 250 pages in.
I can't wait to read that book.
Just waiting on Liko. She's to catch up with us, but we should finish it hopefully this weekend. And this is, I am so impressed with this. I liked it so much better than Wonder Woman, but I think if I listen to Wonder Woman again with the audiobook, I'll like Wonder Woman a lot better. But I just don't know. I don't think it's that Wonder Woman was bad. I just think I wasn't in the right mood for it.
Wonder Woman was awesome.
Definitely pick this up too. You won't be disappointed. And I think I don't have the book. It's upstairs because I'm too lazy to go get it. But I'm rereading Scarlett because I felt like I read through it the first time kind of fast, so I just wanted to kind of soak it in a little bit because I do want to go ahead and get the Lunar Chronicles read. And I think I'm going to finish this as well. The President is Missing. These are because I had already started it and I got a little far and I was listening to the audiobook as long as it, and I was so far I figured I might as well just go ahead and complete it. But I like it so far. I believe I was almost maybe 200. I think I was at chapter 54, but about 255 pages in, and this does not disappoint, guys. There's a lot of action. I was going into this kind of apprehensive, thinking it would be kind of a boring political read, but it's not. And
I hope it's a lot.
I don't want to get political, but you can kind of, and sorry to say this, but you can kind of compare what's going on in today's presidency society with, you can kind of see where he got some of his ideas.
We're gonna go there.
Yeah, we won't go there because we don't get political on this channel.
Well, we don't.
But I think that's what I've got so far as my week. I don't want to get too ambitious this weekend.
But yeah, we're our Butterfly Book Club Book of the Month. This is tech month for our book club. Yeah, I'm going to save you here. Is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. We're really excited about this book and what it entails.
And I'll be reading that this month.
It is a gaming book. I don't know much about it, but so far I have read Nerve, and Nerve is by Jenny Ryan. A shy girl V wants to get out of her best friend Sydney's shadow. The only way she knows how to do this is by entering a game of Dare. Not Truth or Dare, but Dare. This game is called Nerve. Each dance she does is more dangerous, and V soon realizes that to save her life, she must win this game. So this is a really.
And she also watched the movie too.
I watched the movie. There were some characters left out of the movie that were in the book, which I didn't like, but I did like Emma Roberts. Emma Roberts was in the movie, and she was also on American Horror Story, as well as.
I really like her. She's a good actress.
Yeah, so this was very good movie, very good book. Of course, some of the characters were left out, and they did change some scenes around in the movie that were in the book, but yeah, that's always to be expected. So.
But you've finished quite a few books, and so you've also finished.
I finished the Miseducation of Cameron Post, ready for the movie. If we could ever find the movie in our neighborhood, I may have to wait
Yeah,
until.
she's read this, Cameron Post, Nerve. What else have you finished? I know you read Sea Witch.
This is by Emily Danforth. She is Right On. So it's kind of an own voice
And for
novel.
all of you that don't know what Right On is, that's what her term for queer representation,
Yes.
or
I'm right on, you're right on.
well, I'm
LGBTQ.
by Right On.
You're right on, right on. But it takes place in Montana. And it's about this young girl. Of course, her name is Cameron. The audiobook was very good. She, in 1993, she's sent to a conversion camp. Earlier in the 80s, when she was about 7 or 8 years old, she meets her first friend, Irene, who kisses her. That same day that her friend Irene kisses her, there's a tragic accident that occurs on Quake Lake, on the road by Quake Lake with her parents, and her parents are killed on that road. So her Aunt Ruth has to move in and take care of her. She finds out because of the girl that, you know, some situations that she has these homosexual feelings, and her Aunt Ruth is upset and sends her to a conversion camp. I didn't like some of the phrases that they did use. I didn't like that they did use some homophobic terms, but I guess that's to be
Yeah, to be expected. And
the ending did fall a little flat.
I mean, you wouldn't get the idea of what they went through if you didn't, you know.
I wish they had given me a little more to the ending. I wanted more. I wanted the story to be a little shorter, but the ending to be bulked up a lot more. It fell flat because I wanted so much more from the ending. However, it was an amazing book. I would highly recommend this book. I don't give ratings, but if I did give a rating, it would be a high rating. And I'm looking forward to the movie when we can find it. So, also, right now I am currently
Yes, what are you currently reading, and what are your weekend plans?
I am currently reading Crazy Rich Asians, and I am on page 362. It's about this young girl, Rachel Chu, who lives in New York, and she agrees to meet her boyfriend, Nicholas Young's family, to attend a wedding of his friend because his best friend is getting married, and Nicholas is the best man at the wedding. So he really likes Rachel, so he wants to take her on a trip to this wedding in Singapore, and there she finds out he is crazy rich, and she finds out that her parents aren't happy. Even though she's Silicon Valley rich, she's not Singapore rich, and they are not about that pairing, that OTP. They do not want to ship them. So it's really good. There's one part where these rich ladies, this ultra rich lady on a yacht for her bachelor party, she's sending a bunch of these girls, her bridesmaid, on this trip to one of her stores that her mom owns, and they're making fun of each other, and she says they only have 5 minutes to shop, and they're like, you can't wear this, you've no proportion to wear this, and they're grabbing things out of, I mean, it's just funny the way it's written. But the one book I'm excited to get to that has LGBTQIA plus representation is The Cabin at the End of the Woods. 7-year-old Wynn and her parents, Aaron and Andrew, which are two fathers of hers, are wanting to take a trip to this cabin in New Hampshire, which is close to the Canadian border. And on each end, there's neighbors are 2 miles from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a home invasion that occurs.
Home invasion.
And apocalypse home invasion. So I'm excited about this book. I've heard a lot of great things about this book, and I hope if anybody wants to buddy read this book with us, please do. It's a thriller.
So are you going to read this weekend?
It takes place in the summer, so yeah, I want to try to go ahead and read this. Hopefully, if I don't get to it this weekend, I'll get to it next week. But those are my plans, and that's all our readings for this week.
And another book I forgot to tell you about that I read, that I completed. And the reason I don't have it is because I took it back. It was a manga, and it was called Ibitsu.
Yeah, but that was really...
It was very, very graphic. I don't really recommend it at all. It was borderline disturbing.
Yeah.
And another book I finished was...
If you have any type of trauma, I definitely wouldn't recommend Ibitsu.
Another book I finished was Hidden Bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have... Well, it's in the living room, but I have to send it to Lico. And I'm sending you to Melissa. I just haven't been able to... Uh-oh. I haven't been able to get that.
No! Not mouse.
That's fine.
Oh. No, guys, look what happened to my...
Yeah, I got a little scuffed. But that's okay. That happens. We'll get you another copy. But anyway.
I'm gonna cry now.